What's going on, everyone? Are you still looking for that perfect one-stop shop for all things pop culture? You know, that one place where you can hear hot takes about superheroes, Star Wars, video games, and more? Well, fear not. Bridging the Geekdoms is the place for you. A podcast that focuses on the current rumors, scoops, and controversies within the pop culture world. Hosted exclusively on the Spoilerverse Network, you can find us on any one of your favorite podcatching apps, YouTube, and at Spoilerverse.com. So don't miss out on the excitement. Find us and subscribe now. What's going on, everybody? This is Robert. This is Polygon Warriors. And I want to talk about some news that dropped today by Nintendo, which we all kind of knew this was going to be happening. This was something that's been rumored and in the works for quite some time. So I wanted to get talking about it now. Now, you may be noticing, hey, Robert, aren't you the Bridging the Geekdoms guy? Well, I am. You're not wrong. And Colton is the Polygon Warriors guy. He's the video game guy. But he's got work, he's got other things he's doing, so I jumped in here to help out with Polygon Warriors to get some video game content out there for you. But that's not to say that you're not going to see me from time to time. You're not going to see Colton again, because you are. The great thing about what we're doing here on the Bridging the Geekdoms YouTube page is we're kind of combining everything and giving everything its own little playlist. That way it's easier for you, the watchers, the viewers, the listeners, everything like that, to find what you like, so you can easily just jump to it and watch it. So if you like video games, Polygon Warriors is for you. You like VR, we got We Are VR for VR content. If you like pop culture news, Bridging the Geekdoms and Bridging the Geekdoms Free Talk are the two playlists you're going to want to hit up there. And then my favorite, Shooting the Sith, for all your Star Wars related content. And this could build to being something bigger and more, just depending on all of you and how all of you watch and take in the show. But right now, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, all that jazz, so you know you can get more content when it's coming out. But let's jump into it here. All right, Nintendo. Now, Nintendo has been that company that, well, for the better part of 15, 20 years almost now, they don't want to mess with what Sony and Microsoft are doing with the game consoles. They're kind of like, hey, they do their own thing. It's okay. They can do that. Let's just move forward with what we got here. And that's been working for them very well, actually. You take a look at the Wii back in the late mid-2000s, the Wii U, we're not going to touch on that, but then the Switch, it's its own thing. And while I've stated for many, many years now that there's two things that are the future of gaming, portability is number one. And number two, I think, is augmented reality, although that's kind of switching now that I got an Oculus and seeing how VR is. But the number one thing has been portability, and Nintendo hit a home run with the Switch. The Switch was an amazing system that they released for portability, as well as being able to go home and play it on your TV. It was fantastic. It was amazing, and I give them a lot of credit for it. We have two of them in our house. I mean, that's just the way it is. It is a good system, and it's great for the entire family. So for the last couple months, people have been speculating and rumors have been popping up that, hey, we're going to get a new version of the Switch. A lot of people were calling it like Nintendo Switch Plus or Nintendo Switch HD or something like that. I thought a really cool name would have been Nintendo Switch Up, because it would have been a switch up to a higher and a bigger thing. But that's besides the point. That's me. But what I want to talk about is the new Switch that they announced, because they did announce a new Switch today. It's coming out this October. So let me pull this up here. And there's some things about it that I'm sorry. I'm not a big fan of what they're doing here, but let's check this video out first. And then you guys can judge for yourself.
lights, we make our own fun throughout the night. We're gonna feel this good forever, such heights we reach together. Running out of life, stepping in time, tread our own path, we won't fall down. We can go higher than we ever been before. Reach for the sky and have it all.
Checkmate.
Running through town, chasing lights, we make our own fun throughout the night. We're gonna feel this good forever, such heights we reach together. Running out of life, stepping in time, tread our own path, we won't fall down. Stepping in time, tread our own path, the future's now. We can go higher than we ever been before. Reach for the sky and have it all. We can go higher than we ever been before. Reach for the sky and have it all.
I don't know. I mean, it's not, again, the Switch is a great system. I just don't understand what the point of this one here is. It's called the OLED or OLED model. It's not anything. It's got a bigger screen. The base, it's a little bit bigger. It allows you to do the Ethernet port into it, as well as, your normal HDMI and everything else that was part of it. I don't know why they couldn't have just made a new base and said, hey, look, we made a new base for your current Nintendo models. I get the OLED screen is a bit better than the screen that is currently on the current Switch, but is this enough of an upgrade for $50 more than to get it? Like, I've been waiting to get one. I don't have a Switch myself. My boys do. Just getting the same original Switch. Like, there's nothing about this one that's like, hey, get this one. And I was waiting. I wanted to see what they were going to do, because even if it was a little bit more, if it was, a 4K version, or if it was something more, if it was just, it gave me a little more power, a little more oomph behind it, I maybe would have gone that route. But at this point, it's just kind of like, you know what? I'm just going to, if and when I do get one, because I do want to play some of the games myself, I might as well just get the original Nintendo Switch. There's no reason not to. But let's take a look and see what else there is, because there's quite a bit more here that, let's see if I can find it here. I probably should have had this ready to go, and I didn't. So let's take a closer look at this here. All right. So again, it's arriving October 8th. In white set and neon red and neon blue. Obviously, we just see the white set here. I don't think we've seen pictures of the neon red or blue yet. The system's vibrant 7-inch OLED screen with a slimmer bezel, the large screen's vivid colors and high contrast deliver a rich handheld and tabletop gaming experience. Again, this is all that stuff that you could have done on or all you can do on the original Switch. It's just a bit bigger of a screen. It's not even that much bigger. It's not even an inch bigger. That's like going from, your iPhone 12 to an iPhone 12 Max. That's not even that much of a difference. The OLED model's wide adjustable stand can set to your preferred viewing angle for comfortable gameplay in tabletop mode. That is a change. That is an adjustment. The stand can do and set differently than it has in the past. A few different more options. But hey, that's something that they probably should have thought about before, and that's something that they could have easily just said, hey, here's our Switch. We just kind of added a little tweak to it. And then obviously the new dock, as I was saying, features 2 USB ports a HDMI port for connected to a TV, and a new wired LAN port, allowing you another way to connect online when playing in TV mode. It should have been stock with the original Switch to begin with. I don't know why they didn't do that, but hey, it is what it is. It's Nintendo. And that's something that Nintendo does. As much as I've enjoyed Nintendo consoles and what they've done over the years with pushing the bar for video gaming and the console industry, I hate that they don't, and this is every company, but Nintendo's pretty bad at like, hey, here's our system, but you got to get all this stuff to make it as great as you want it to be. Or, hey, here's this, we have to add this on later on because, well, we didn't do it then because we wanted to add it later type of thing. They did update the speakers a little bit, enhanced audio, they said. I don't know what if you'll be able to tell a difference. I do want to get my hands on one somehow. I'm hoping somebody I know grabs one so I can compare it to. Well, my oldest son has the original Switch. My stepson has the Switch Lite. It'd be nice to have all three to compare in some form or fashion. And it is compatible with the Nintendo Switch games as well as your existing Joy-Con controllers. The big thing that I want to ask Nintendo about the Joy-Con controllers aspect is, have you fixed the Joy-Con controllers? Because they like to drift after a few months of use. I've already gone through quite a few with my son, and he's not very rough with the system. He just plays it, on a regular basis. Now, since he's switched to Xbox more often than not because he's older, he does like to play Switch from time to time, and he has to dock it and use his Pro controller because the Joy-Con controllers drift now. That's an issue. I mean, that's something that they should have been looking at when the first Switch came out and said, okay, well, let's improve that for the upcoming version, our OLED or OLED version, or whatever the heck they were going to call it or we're talking about. That's something that they should have looked into. I don't get what the whole hoopla is about this. I know there's a lot of people online that are like, this is amazing. Look, it's a new Nintendo Switch. On the other hand, I'm like, you could have done better. You could have done more, Nintendo. This an extra $50, but that's par for the course for them. I mean, especially with their handhelds, they would always up the price by $50 by giving you a slightly bigger screen or just a slightly different design. It's what they do, and I don't expect the next Nintendo console at this point to come out for probably another 2 or 3 years. I'm saying 2023, 2024 is probably when we're going to see anything. 2023, 2024, is probably when we're going to see anything in regards to a new console from them. And that's at the earliest. But with all that said, I want to hear what your thoughts are. I want to know what you think when it comes to all of this. Like, are we going to have is this going to revolutionize things? Is this going to be different? Is this going to set them apart from Xbox and Sony right now? Because again, look at what Microsoft is doing with their cloud gaming. Again, what I've been saying for so long is, look, you have to hit that mobile market. Gaming on the go is the future of gaming. Microsoft sees that. Nintendo has seen it for quite some time. Sony, they tried their PSP and their PS Vita years ago. Wouldn't be surprised if they jumped on board with the cloud gaming thing at some point. I honestly think that what Microsoft is doing is genius because they've already discussed Nintendo and incorporating Xbox Live with Nintendo. Game Pass, we know, is most likely going to be on the Nintendo Switch. It's only a matter of time till Game Pass is on the PlayStation, which means you can do your cloud gaming from these other consoles. It's brilliant. It's genius what Microsoft is doing. And I think I saw an interview the other day where they have 30 million Xbox Live Game Pass subscribers. You times that by $15 a month, they're making over 400 million or 400 billion. I don't know. They're making some outrageous amount of money monthly for this service. They're not going anywhere when it comes to video gaming. They've set the bar. They've said, look, this is where we're at. Come at us. Their consoles are just their outlet. That's their flagship. Like, you get this console, you get Game Pass, and you can play it anywhere. Or you have a PC. Play on your PC and get your Game Pass on the PC, and you can play anywhere. It's fantastic what Microsoft is doing, and I think they're going to incorporate that with Nintendo and Sony at some point. But getting back to the point with Nintendo, they really, really need to step up, I think, next generation, or their next generation, because they're kind of ahead with Xbox. They technically dropped 2 consoles last generation. The Wii U and the Switch was part of last generation. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go next, because they are on the right track. They just need to fine tune their product and just make it that much better. The games look amazing because the games are built specifically for that system. And that's another great thing that Nintendo has done, is they're like, look, our Mario games, our Zelda games, all this stuff, these are games built specifically for the Nintendo Switch. So they're going to look amazing. They're going to look beautiful. These other cross-platform games, they're not going to look as good because, well, they're not built specifically for the Switch. And I think that's something that they're going to, definitely have to hang their hat on, because of how great their first-party games look. But that's not all there is to a console, especially one like this that they can and they should fine-tune moving forward. Look, let me know in the bottom, and let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the Nintendo Switch OLED version? Do you think they did enough? Do you think it's just a pointless upgrade? Do you think that they're going to still make another one that's a 4K version? Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Look, we're doing some big things over at Bridging the Geekdoms, and don't forget, and Polygon Warriors, don't forget that Polygon Warriors is brought to you by Bridging the Geekdoms, which we are all part of the Spoilerverse Network, which again is a fantastic network of podcasts. It's growing every day, so make sure you go to spoilerverse.com to find all the great shows over there. With all that said, guys, I'll talk at all of you later.